I'll be going back in about 2 weeks.
How long do you stay?
2 weeks. I go every other month, every 2 months for 2 weeks.
That's nice.
Yeah. Actually, you'll be here a little less than 2 weeks because you're going to go see your son in Denver.
True. True.
You're making a double visit this time.
You bet.
And you're happy to see her? Your mother is happy to see you?
Oh, yes. She has a list of chores for me.
Oh, I always make a to-do list for her. And she does a wonderful job. She and Lou have fixed things I didn't know were broken. They're terrific when they come.
She has 6 things she didn't know were broken. She has 6 things that she
Oh, I
didn't
didn't know it was broken. Gotcha.
You got your.
I finally reached your brother, Sarah.
Oh, you reached Sam finally?
Finally.
You okay?
Yeah. I figured out how to get rid of 53 saved messages. There was nothing I could do to get rid of it. I listened to each one and then deleted it. 53 of them. I got it done yesterday.
Just gotta have
I
the
don't know.
time.
Yeah, I won't let that happen again.
Sometimes we learn our lessons the hard way.
Well, I learned my lesson. So, well, Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Oh,
Oh, I heard a Lou. I don't see a Lou. There he is.
there we go.
Got my candles, my bread, my wine, and my prayer book, and a kippah. I'm good.
You're
Time
all
for
set.
Shabbat. Time for Shabbat. Your hair looks nice, Mom. She didn't hear me.
Yeah.
Mom, your hair looks nice.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Up. Kenneth agrees.
Ah, here we
Set
go.
up. We have to. We
Okay,
had to set
I
up
can
today.
turn
'Cause
off
we had Simon and
I'm gonna mute.
you can dance anyway. Yeah, go ahead. You're a dancing fool.
Who's that?
It's the rabbi. That's a major cantor.
Oh, yeah.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom, Elizabeth. You ready for your bat mitzvah next week?
I sure am. I'm excited. Stop.
Yes,
Man,
Wow, that's a beautiful
Zoom
setup.
is present. Zoom is watching us. We're 5 people at home. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
I talked to the technician. The technician,
Shabbat
even though
shalom.
we're in here, Declan is on the choir loft.
You're gonna have to find a way to increase the
We
volume.
don't need a projector for tomorrow. We don't need a
Alright.
projector for tomorrow anyway, so.
Start with a melody. La 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 I la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav Vitzivanu lehadlik ner Vitzivanu lehadlik ner Vitzivanu lehadlik ner Shel Shabbat. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Shabbat Shalom, welcome. Let us begin our Kabbalat Shabbat service. We are just 1 week away from Rosh Chodesh Elul. We're on our way to the holidays. In these weeks of consolation. And let's begin our Kabbalat Shabbat service created by the Kabbalists at Tzfat, who used to go out into the fields, their hearts full of yearning to greet the bride Shabbat. We begin with Shalom Aleichem, page 5.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leshalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu leshalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitechem l'shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch. We turn to page 11. We begin our Psalms tonight with Psalm 95. Lechu neranana, lechu neranana l'Adonai, naria letzor yishenu, negad mafanav, betodah. Bizmirod narialo. Kiel gadol Adonai.
You Eloheinu v'anachnu
Arbaim shana kot bedor va'omaram to'el levavhem ve'im lo yadu derachai asher nishbati v'yapi Im yivon el menuchati. Page 13. Lai 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 La 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 la. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai baruchu shemo. Basru miyom liyom yeshuato. Sapru v'goyim kivodo. Lechol amim nifleotav. Ki gadol Adonai umeulal meod norau al kol Elohim ki kol Elohei amim elim v'Adonai shamayim asa od liadar lifanav עוז ותפארת במקדשו, הבו לאדוני משפחות העמים, הבו לאדוני כבוד ועוז, הבו לאדוני כבוד שמו. שאו מנחה ובואו לחצרותיו. Ay lay 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 ay lay 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 ay lay 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 ay lay 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 ay lay 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 ay lay 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 ay lay 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 Hi, lie, 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 lie. Hi, lie, lie, lie. Lie, 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 lie. לפני אדוני קיווה לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט תבל בצדק, וימים באמונתו. Page 15. Adonai malach tagel haaretz yismechu im rabim.
Let us continue responsively on the left-hand side of page 15. Adonai reigns, let the earth be glad, and many distant lands rejoice. Flashes of lightning illumine the land, the earth watches and trembles, mountains melt like wax at the approach of Adonai, at the approach of the master of all the earth.
The heavens tell of God's righteousness, and all the nations see God's glory. Light is sown for the righteous, and joy for the upright. Or zaru al tzadi kuli shre'lev simcha simchu tzadikim b'Adonai v'yodu lezecher kodsho v'zmor shiru l'Adonai shir chadash כי נפלאות עשה, הושיע לו ימינו וזרוע קודשו, הודיע אדוני ישועתו, לעיני הגויים גילה צדקתו, זכר חסדו ואמונתו, לבית ישראל ראו כל אפסי הארץ את ישועת אלוהינו, הריעו לאדוני כל הארץ פיצחו ורננו וזמרו, זמרו לאדוני בכינור וכל זמרת, בחצוצרות וקול שופר, הריעו לבני המלך אדוני, ירם הים ומלואו, תבל ויושביו, נרות ימחאו כף, יחד הרים ירננו לפני אדוני קיווה, לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט הבל בצדק, וימים במישרים, יי די 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 די. Page 19. Adonai malach yirgizu amim, Yoshev kiruvim tanu taharetz. Moshe ve'Aaron. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'shagavu lehar kodsho ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu.
Please rise. We turn to Mizmor LeDavid, page 21. Acclaim Adonai, children of the divine.
Hello. Hola. 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 Andre. Jonah. Shalom. Yeah.
Thank you.
Please be seated. We turn to page 23. Lecha Dodi, observe and remember. We utter it as one. We heard it that from the singular one. God's name is one and God is one.
Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה. סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. מקדש מלך מלוכה קומיצי, מתוך הפך הרב לך שבט במהבכה, והוא יחמול עלייך חמלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התנערים יפרקו מלבשי בגדי תפארתך מעל יד בן ישי, בית הלחמי קרבה אל נפשי גאלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי התעוררי כבאורי קומי אורי אורי אורי. שיר דברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לא תבושי ולא תקלמי, מה תשתחקי ומטעמי. בך יחסו עניי עמי, ונבנתה עיר אל תהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. We rise and we turn to the last stanza of page 25. We rise to greet the bride Shabbat. בואי ושלום עטרת בלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Please remain standing. We face the ark and Jerusalem.
And the
for our
windows.
Baruch Hu, and the windows. For our Baruch Hu, page 39a.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
Please be seated, and we turn to a responsive reading on the far left column of page 39a. Beloved are you, eternal God, by whose design the evening falls, by whose command dimensions open up and eons pass away, and stars spin in their orbits. You set the rhythms of day and night, the alternation of light and darkness, things your creating world. 39a. In rising sun and in spreading dusk, creator of all, you are made manifest. Eternal, everlasting God, May we always be aware of your dominion. Beloved are you, Adonai, for this hour of nightfall.
ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה. אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב הרבים. We're on page 40, and we'll sing Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amecha Avta Torah u'mitzvot Hukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Al ken ra'una Eloheinu V'shofeinu v'kumeinu Nasiaf behukecha v'nisnaf b'divrei Toratecha u'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed ki hem hayenu le'orech yameinu orem legeh le'elai v'alayla yavteha Al tasir mimenu le'lamim Baruch atah Adonai Ohev amo Yisrael
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשתם להיות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך. Impress these words of mine upon your heart and upon your soul. Bind them as a sign upon your hand and as a symbol above your eyes. Teach them to your children by speaking of them when you walk in your way, when you walk on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. Inscribe them upon the doorposts of your home and on your gates. Vayomer Adonai el Moshe lemor daber ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם, למען תזכרו ועשיתם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Please join me for a responsive reading. We are on page 43b. You proclaimed the covenant on the seventh day. You declared it and decreed it. We listened and heard it. You loved this day. We inherited, delighting in its remembrance. and began its command with the word, remember Zachor. From the time you bestowed it, joy filled the hearts of Yeshurun, the people you redeemed, securing the cause of righteousness. You exalted Shabbat as a sign between us forever. In 6 days your world was formed, on the 7th day you rested. And on this day, Israel, your people, will rest. Honor your name, they sing songs of praise to the one deserving of praise.
ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליכם, משה מרים ובני ישראל, לכנו שירה ושמחה רבה, ואמרו כולם, מי כמוך בעלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נוראתי לו תוסף אלך, נוראתי לו תוסף אלך, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע הים לפני משה, זה לי אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גל ישראל.
Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'yamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Uferos aleinu kasher Ushmor tzeiteinu, uvoeinu, לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, ויעמידנו מלכנו לחיים, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך. ברוך אתה אדוני, הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו, ועל כל עמו ישראל, ועל ירושלים. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם, ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. יתגדל ויתקדש שמך רבה, בעולמה דברה קירותי, וימליך מלכותי, וחייכון וביומכון, ובחיי לכל בית ישראל. בעגלה, בעגלה, ובזמן קריב אמרו, אמן. ישמך במברך, לעולם עולם מעל מעיין. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה יריחו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמא ויאמרו Amen.
Our Amidah for Friday nights begins on page 47, and we continue silently through to page 52.
Say shalom, shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Amen.
Please rise for Kiddush, page 55.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava, ורצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה וראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים, כי הבנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מקומים ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
Amen. Please be seated. Shabbat Shalom. In the current mess in Israel, there is this very powerful current and thread of thinking that's been part of the divisiveness and everything that's been happening for the last really 4 or 5 years, coming out of the complicated Ashkenazi and Sephardi relations, where a lot of Mizrahi and Sephardi Israelis think, well, all of these protests, this is just coming because of the Ashkenazim trying to hold on to the last vestiges of their power, specifically in the High Court. And they said, you kept us out of power for 7 decades, and now it's our turn, they say. When they came to Israel, the Moroccans and all the other Sephardi Jews, they felt the Ashkenazim treated them as lesser, and now they're saying it's our turn, and all these protests, just because you're holding on to power, you're trying to hold on to an Ashkenazi leadership. So in our parsha this week, there is a line amidst all the other laws where it says, be sure not to neglect the Levi family amongst you. Why the Levite family? Because all the other tribes, they got a portion, their own piece of land, everyone, but not the Levites. And they were a minority group. They had to live amongst the others. They didn't have their own land. And they depended on receiving offerings from all the other tribes. And so, yes, they got to be the spiritual leaders and serve in the temple, but they didn't have the same financial position as the others. And so the French commentator Chizguni says, it says in that verse, as long as you live in the land, you have to take care of the Levite. And he says, well, once they were in exile, the Levites were the same as everybody. They were all oppressed the same, so they didn't have to worry about it. But while they were in the land, they had to make sure not to neglect the Levite. And actually in the Hebrew, the command is even more powerful. It's not saying do not neglect, it's saying do not abandon the Levi. Do not abandon them because you think, well, their needs aren't my needs. And don't neglect them because you think, well, they've got their lofty position and that's good for them. And really, this is so often the Torah has this message over and over. Don't neglect, but really don't abandon those people who are vulnerable. The widow, the orphan, the stranger. Because it knows how easy it is to turn away from other human beings and their needs, and then really to abandon them and think, well, it's not my job to take care of them. Or even worse, think they're not human. And in our world, we see this, maybe a way we can apply it. Do not abandon those who you think differently than you. Do not abandon those who believe differently. Do not abandon those who are of a different tribe. So in this case of Israel, on one hand, there's truth to all those perceived injustices. And it's become clear, and there are many in Israeli society who are saying, well, even among the Ashkenazi who've been ruling the country, maybe they could have done a better job of bringing the Mizrahi and Sephardi into power. They could have done a better job of opening the doors and caring for them. On the other hand, now it's the Sephardim who are abandoning the Ashkenazim, and out of a sense of vengeance, it's just the same thing continuing all over again. And then all sides just end up abandoning each other, and there's no mutual understanding. And so the Torah understands how easily this happens, and you have to push people. Don't abandon the people who are thinking differently than you. And this is so much of what the Torah does. As we see from its very beginning in the book of Genesis, how the way we understand that story of the eating of the apple is that every single human being has a good side and a not so good side. And the good side is a part of us that wants to live in harmony with others. And the not so good side is a side that feels injustice and perceived other people are harming them and therefore creates suffering, abandons their fellows, feels they're no longer human. And so the whole story of the Torah in some ways is a story of trying to force people into that higher self, of trying to live in harmony. Because what's the opposite of abandoning people? It's what the Torah tells us about our fellow Jews. Kol Yisrael arevim ze bazeh. All of Israel support one another. As the Baal Shem Tov says, because we're the same limbs of the same body, all the Jewish people. And when you do that, when you have empathy and compassion, and even though you might feel that they wronged you, you don't abandon your fellow. When you see the spark of God in other human beings, then you can truly bring peace and justice to our world. Shabbat Shalom. We turn to Aleinu, page 56. Please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגרור עלינו ככל עמונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אין עוד, אין עוד, אין עוד. אמת מלכנו וזולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום השבותה אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת. אין עוד, אין עוד. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד ושמו אחד ושמו אחד ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. We turn to our mourner's Kaddish. We are on page 58. This week we are observing the following yard sites: Frank Alschuler, Rose Blumenthal, Jenny Braun, Lawrence Crowley, Ruth Einhorn, Sarah Zelda Eisen, Sonia Elkins, Josephina Engel, Martin Fabush, Pearl Fish, Milo Flower, Gussie Frack, Sale Puncher Freeman, Sylvia Friedman, Nancy Geddes, Betty Gold, Benjamin Goldstein, Rose Gorin, Mary J. Harris, Morris Eisenstark, Judith Jaskalka, Ben Kane, Martin Kitts, Beatrice Levine, Betty Nathanson, Isaac Offner, Roger William Poborski, Ernest Roth, Rachel Russman, Rebecca M. Sadov, Audrey Shainoff, Alan S. Shochet, Mitchell Silverstein, Sonia Stein, Isaac Tuvin, Margarita Vozak, Jean Wagner, Charles Wendell, Esther Wendell, Stephen A. Wayne, Marjorie Gottlieb Weinberg, Helen Wilkes, Fanny Winetsky. If you're observing a yard site or in mourning, please rise and join me in the words of the Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgada shomei rabba, be'alma divra keute v'yamlich malchute, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayedecho Beit Yisrael, בגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם עולמיה. יפרח וישתבח ויפאר ויתחומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו ואלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן. יהי שלום הרבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו amen. Announcements, as always, from Jerry Bloom.
Here are the announcements for this August 11th. We thank Carol Solomon for ushering. Please come back tomorrow morning for our special musical Shabbat service. We are once again, this is a different paragraph. We are once again opening our kitchen and asking members to make the Kiddush special by making your own kosher recipes or sponsoring our caterer, Wes, to make a treat. Look at the emails to reserve the kitchen and/or agree to sponsor or call the office. Upcoming, we are indebted to Dr. Aryeh Zamora for continuing his invaluable Sunday sessions and continues this Sunday at 11 a.m., a fascinating study of Israeli democracy in crisis, the rise of Israel's extreme religious right, and the aftermath of the Six-Day War, a survey, 1967 to 2000. Look at your mail to get materials for this Sunday's class, and feel free to go online to see previous class, but join us for a helpful primer on the recent past and constructive discussion. This Sunday, our annual golf outing returns to Meadowlark Golf Course in Hinsdale. Reserve for tea times beginning at 1 p.m. and follow with a Giordano's Pizza dinner. If you don't golf, but you do socialize, reserve a spot to eat pizza with us. Deadline has been dropped, and you are welcome to participate. Register or call the office. Next Sunday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., the Red Cross is holding a blood drive here. There is a great need for blood, so please go to their website and take one of the open spots. Save this date, our annual blog, the outstanding mashup of Shabbat on the Lawn and barbecue and musical Shabbat. It is set for Friday, August 25th. Registration is open for all. We are in search of kiddos and babies for our newly initiated and exciting new program called Shul Babies and Bubbies and Zadis. The intent is to pair different families and foster relationships between younger and older members of the Har Zion community. Call the office or call Barb Young for more information. We are joining with Oak Park Temple and the secular Jewish community and school, and we are partnering to support the response team, which cares for 40 or so migrants living at the District 15 police station in Chicago. There is an urgent need for meals that are currently being donated by individuals, restaurants, organizations, and other faith communities. It is Har Zion's turn to provide breakfast again on Wednesday, August 30th. And in conclusion, please leave your prayer books with the binding facing upwards so that the Sidurim last longer. Also, we are able to compost again, so please be aware of the proper bins for your waste. And Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Jerry. We'll conclude our service on page 62 with the singing of Yigdal in a Sephardic folk song melody. יגדל אלוהים חי וישתבח נמצא וינדל מציאותו אחד אין יחיד כיכולו נעלם וגם אין סוף לאחדותו אין לו דמות הגו ואינו גוף חצוף, לא נערוך אליו קדושתו. קדמון לכל דבר אשר נברא, ראשון ואין ראשית לרעותו. הינו אדון עולם לכל נוצר, יורה גדולתו ומלכותו. שפע נבואתו נתנו אל אנשי סגולתו ותפארתו. לא קם בישראל כמו שעוד, נביא ומביט את אמונתו. תורת אמת נתן לעם אוהל, על יד נביאו נאמן ביתו. לא יחליף האל ולא ימיר דתו, לעולמים לזולתו. צופה ויודע סתרנו, מביט לסוף דבר בקדמתו. גומל לאיש חסד כמפעלו, לא תן לרש רע כרישתו. ישלח לקץ ימין משיחנו, לפדות מחכה קץ ישועתו. מתים יחייל מרוב חסדו, ברוך הדיית שם תהילתו. מתים יחייל מרוב חסדו, ברוך הדיית שם תהילתו.
Please rise for our concluding bracha. Kadosh Baruch Hu, Holy One, blessed be He. Teach us to live in harmony and not to abandon our fellows, to push aside negativity, to find hope and trust, to build together a world of peace and justice and truth and love. And let us say, Amen.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
Adonai bless and protect us.
Ya'ir Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May Adonai's countenance shine upon you. May Adonai bestow kindness upon you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May Adonai's countenance be lifted towards you. May Adonai grant you peace. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom from the Elsteins.
Good to see you both. Well, hear you both. I've got challah to do a quick Shabbat blessing, a Shabbat shalom blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem
Haaretz.
Amen.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Amen. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.